I'm Fiona, author of 25 Foods Kids Hate and How to Get Them Eating 24, and this is my pea and lime dip with easy baked tortillas. So welcome to my Video Jug Cooking for Kids series. It's all about getting really creative with your kids' 5 a day. Now, I often get asked to cook with the kids of various celebrities, and I must say that my pea and lime dip often proves to be just as popular with the yummy mummies as it does with the kids themselves. And this is an example of a recipe, I think, that just shows how you can get really creative with the veg that could be a little bit boring just sat on the plate. Right, step one is oven is on quite high, 220 degrees centigrade. And what I've done is I've thoroughly greased a baking tray with olive oil, and do be generous with that and you'll see why in a second. I'm also going to add a little sprinkle of smoked paprika, which is something that I really love actually, so a little light sprinkling. You could use cayenne pepper, but be careful because that is quite spicy, so if kids are going to be eating these, then maybe use the paprika instead. I've got 2 soft flour wraps, pair of scissors, one of my favourite kitchen tools of all, and I'm going to basically cut them into triangles. So I'm going to cut the 2 wraps in half. I've layered them one on top of the other and then cut again into quarters and then cut again into 8ths. So what you'll have is 16 of these in total, and you'll have 16 little triangles, and then all you do, watch, is you literally rub them onto the olive oil, turn over and keep going with all 16 until they're all covered, both sides. And you will need quite a big baking tray for this, or if not, use obviously 2 baking trays or 3. For the full details of the recipe, it's right here, and you can see all the measurements and exactly what you'll need. Right, there we go. I think that's enough for this tray for now. So I'm going to put them in the oven for literally 4 or 5 minutes until they've browned off and crisped up a bit. So while the tortillas are baking, let's get on with the dip, and it's so simple. It literally is a case of putting it all in a bowl and zhuzhing it all together. First of all, little tip for the lime juice, roll it along a flat surface, and that will help you create more juice from the lime, and that counts if you need some lemon juice as well in a recipe. Cut it in half, and I want the juice of half a lime, and I'm going to juice it through my fingers, and that way I'll catch any pips. If you're cooking with kids whilst doing this, top tip, make sure they have no cuts on their fingers, because I've been there myself and done that and heard a sudden scream from a kid as I realised that actually they've got lime juice into their fingers, so bear that one in mind. So there's our juice, peas, defrosted but still firm, bit of parmesan, extra flavour, and some cream cheese. So you'll be able to find all the ingredients for this recipe in the description box. If you want to, you can use some low-fat cream cheese, but I quite like the flavour of full fat, and then literally use a food processor or a handheld stick blender and then zhuzh it all up together. And if you wanted to, you could add some fresh mint, you could add some spring onion. Again, just play with whatever your taste buds tell you to add to this, but just as it is, it's perfect. Now, there's always a little bit of debate amongst parents and experts, should you hide your kids' veg? And with a dip like this, I would say just go with whatever you think will work for you and your family. I think it's quite nice actually to leave a little bit of the peas left a little bit chunky. I think that's a good texture, but if you want to blend the whole thing, you know, that's totally fine. By the way, we have loads more recipes like this. If you want to get inspired to get your kids to eat more of their 5 a day, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's loads of stuff on there, and as ever, we'd love to hear your comments and your suggestions too. Right, this serves about 4, but double the quantities as you see fit and just make as much as you want. And an obvious chef's tip, but one that I think is often forgotten, is always have a little try and make sure you're happy with it. It tastes really good. So that's it. My tortillas are cooked. I've let them to crisp up on the trays a little bit, so they're going to be plated up in a minute. First of all, I love the colour of this dip, and what's great about it is you can also really pretty it up on the plate and add some nice garnishes. So I'm going to add some lime zest. There we go. And mint, which looks great, tastes great as well. And you can just tear it up as big or as small as you want. And really that's it. The tortillas, baked not fried, so they're that little bit healthier. There we have it. That's my pea and lime dip with my easy baked tortillas. That's it from me for this week, but join me next week for another recipe for Video Jug, cooking with kids, how to get your kids really inspired by their 5 a day. See you next time.